Hello friends, in this session we are going to look about arrays in Java. So what is an array? Array is a collection of similar data types. For example, in your school subject, if you wanted to know the total of all your marks, okay, you can just declare 5 variables like max marks, science mark, English mark, like that, okay, and add them very easily. But for say example, like in your engineering or a degree, you might have even more than 50 subjects, correct? So in those cases, will you declare 50 different variables and use them for the same purpose? That is very much tiresome, right? Instead, there is a smarter way by using it as a array of marks. So a single array variable to store all your 50 subject marks. And array is also known as a static data structure because the length of an array must be specified at the time of declaration itself. So array is a collection of similar type of elements that have continuous memory locations, and so its size is fixed. So let's now look at a sample coding of array of marks. Okay, so here we have declared a integer array of marks, and we are also given the length of the particular array is 10 as well, and then one by one assigning the marks, right? So index of 0 means the first element in the array. So array always starts with the 0, so that is common in most of the programming languages. Then in 1, 20 marks, then in 2, 70 marks, so like that. Okay, so for printing, I value starts from 0. So just to show you very clearly, let's print this entirely differently. Okay, so by separate print statements without having that for loop, okay, which is much more simpler. So now we have marks of 0, 1, 2 and 3, and now when you run it, the output is as expected. So it is 10, 20, 70, 40. So we have printed up to that third index. So instead of this, let's try to put it in a smarter way, okay, of printing with the previous for loop that we had with just one print statement. So the only difference will be the index variable I. So it starts with like I starts with 0, and then I less than marks of length or 5 elements, then I plus plus to increment the index value one by one, and that index variable I is used to print as marks of I. Okay, so now it prints all the elements in the array. So either use a lengthy statements, okay, like before, or using index variable in a for loop. Now to get this 5, the length value automatically, we can use the length function. So it is much more easier, and then rather than hard coding the values, correct? So now when you run it, it should be the same results. Oops, some extra zeros are coming, right? Why? So can you guess why? So now let's try to print that marks array length, okay, to see what number it is coming up. Okay, so we will use that print statement system.out.println, and then we need to print the marks dot length. So just comment this out, okay, just temporarily we'll comment this out. just to see it very clearly, okay, to understand what length is coming up. So now when you run it, it tells 10, right? Oh yeah, so if you remember correctly, we have declared that array length as 10. So that is why you should be very careful in giving your array length while declaring it first itself. So here, because that array length was 10, that remaining 5 spaces were there, right, which was not allocated any value. So those have been automatically filled up with 0 values. So that is why we saw those zeros. So now we have uncommented our for loop to see our results. So now we should be able to see the same results again, right? So when you run it, the first 10 is for the for loop, and then 10, 20, 70, 40, and then 50. Then the remaining 5 zeros, okay, as usual. So now let's try to change this little differently, okay. Let's have that last one as 90, okay. So now if you look at it, gets superbly replaced with 90. So that is all about arrays. Thank you friends, see you soon, bye.